Morning, everyone, and thank you for waking up with the chase. Happy Jersey Friday. I'm Troy LeCastro alongside my co-host David Wait, hold on, you're not David. Who 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 are you?
You guys may have seen me around on Twitch, YouTube. I'm Steve. I'm one of the breakers here. I got a big chair to fill today with David's Troy, but I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you know what, Steve? I've known you for like 6, 7 months now, and I think if there was going to be anybody to replace David in the chair, it's going to be you, buddy.
I appreciate it. That's high praise.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
this guy's an analyst. This guy is ready for the big time, and he sure is here. And we are the big time right now on the chase. Like I said, Jersey Friday. Who we wearing today?
Four-time champion. Finally got the finals MVP. It's got to be Steph Curry. One of my favorite players taken in the NBA draft out of Davidson. Had to wear it for the theme. NBA draft was last night.
Of course. And you did mention that Meerkat may or may not like the fact that you're wearing Steph Curry, right?
They eliminated his Nuggets in the first round in 5 games. Gentlemen's sweep. What can you do?
That hurts. That cuts deep. That he literally just stabbed Meerkat and twisted a little bit. Look at Meerkat's over there. He's shaking his head. He's like, mm-mm. Me, I got the old school Buffalo Bisons jersey on. This is actually when they were an affiliate of the Guardians. Quick story behind this. I was young. My dad and I went down to the ballpark. It was Dunn Tire Park at this time in downtown Buffalo. He gets chose out of the crowd to do like a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but it was like for the Bisons. So anyways, he answers a bunch of questions. He answers them correctly. Sure enough, to the point where the game's done, we had to get invited back to next game. And sure enough, he ends up with like a $500 credit to the Bison store. So he buys this.
There you go.
And once again, I'm reckless and I've got the taco chest hair, poking out there because I don't care. I'll wear mesh with no t-shirt underneath. It's going to be like 90 today here, so.
Well, that's why I got the undershirt on the jersey today.
Yeah, see, my co-hosts always seem to bring protection underneath the jersey. Me, I'm like, whatever. It's all out there. And I'm sure I'm going to get chirped in the chat for it. Don't worry. Oh, Slim Jim Timbit's in here too. Taking a look at the Twitch chat real quick, just seeing who's here. Meerkat's here. T Yarg. I appreciate that. That means David's mom is still watching us, even though David's not on the show. I appreciate that viewership.
We love that. We love the people that come back every day. We got Tone in here. Wahoo's. Wahoo's is in my stream every day. Shout out Wahoo's.
Big Wahoo's fans on the show here.
Huge Wahoo's fans.
He's already winning all our giveaways.
No, he's 2 for 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. We'll see if he goes 3 for 3.
Guy's got a stroke of luck. Speaking of David, though, where he is actually with our team, the folks over at Hit Parade. He went with them down to Chantilly at a show. He's experiencing his first sports card show, he said.
Ooh, that's
right?
fun.
I was going to say, he goes, yeah, this is going to be my first. I was like, your first, like ever? He's like, yeah. He's like, this is my first ever sports card show. And I said, you know what? You always remember your first.
Always.
You always remember your first sports card show.
I remember my first show.
Yeah, so he'll have plenty more on that coming up on Monday. He's going to share his experience with us and how the weekend went. But in his place, we got to start off with the quote of the day. It gets us going, and I feel like that's a good start to the show, and it sets the tone for the rest. So here we go. Without ambition, one starts nothing. Without work, one finishes nothing. The prize will not be sent to you. You have to win it. Waldo. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. Appreciate it. Yeah, I was really trying my best there, my captivating reading voice. I wanted to sound like Morgan Freeman. Anyways, let's get in.
That's tough to do.
Yeah, you want to talk about big shoes to fill? Yeah. Trying to sound like Morgan Freeman. Let's get into what's going on around the hobbies. So I got to be honest, I was looking on our YouTube. You had yourself a heck of a day last Friday, didn't you?
Fridays have been pretty good to me, and last Friday was no exception.
I mean, I would almost say that business was kabooming, was it not?
I think you can say that. I think it was kabooming a couple times.
Two in one day. That's I feel like that's almost unheard of.
And they were within probably just an hour of each other, which is crazy too. The first one was the Evan Mobley rookie kaboom, which was one of my favorite rookies, probably my favorite rookie from the draft class. And it's in Crown Royale, right? So when
Yeah.
we open Crown Royale,
I was gonna say
you'll
we got
see
some footage
here.
up on the screen of you here. So why don't like take me through that real quick? Like what were you thinking
So
here?
with Crown Royale, all the cards have like almost like a die cut to them, right?
Sure.
So when there's a kaboom, you kind of know right off the bat because it's a full card. And I saw it peeking a little bit there. And I was like, all right, everyone knows it's a kaboom. I know it's a kaboom. Let's get to the kaboom. So I put the other cards to the side, and we got a rookie kaboom. Evan Mobley, one of the big three rookies, right?
Yeah.
You got Cade, Scotty Barnes, and Evan Mobley. And I've been saying ever since I started breaking here that Mobley's my favorite rookie from this class. I think he has the highest ceiling. I see like Anthony Davis in him. And Evan Mobley getting his rookie kaboom was one of my favorite pulls I've had so far breaking with David Adams. Just a great player,
Yeah.
high ceiling. And then the kaboom cards, Troy, they're just gorgeous. That's what I love about the case hits.
Agreed.
Whether it's kaboom, downtown, color blast, you name it, those cards just look gorgeous.
Well, I think it's great because I feel like in those products you're always trying to hunt for the autograph. So to have something else that is aesthetically pleasing, that is like super short print like that, I think that's fun to also chase after those, I should say.
Exactly. I mean, that's why I love the low numbered like parallel prisms and prism sets. I love the case hits because besides the autos, it gives you something else to chase.
Yeah.
And that's really why we love breaking. We love getting just those super rare cards for whoever buys into the breaks.
See, you said the chase there. That's the key word right there.
I might have done that intentionally, but yeah.
He knows what he's doing. Listen, he knows what he's doing. He's been around the mic. And you pulled that for one of our big hitters in the Twitch stream.
Yes, I did. Violet Summers, she's one of our regulars.
Yeah.
She loves basketball, buys into all our basketball breaks. So to get the Evan Mobley kaboom for her is always great. I always love when I'll pull a big card for someone who's always coming back to our streams, someone who's a loyal customer, or if you pull like a favorite team of a guy who's in the chat, maybe he's a Yankees fan. You pull like a crazy Aaron Judge. Always love doing that. And so it makes it even more special than just pulling a case hit. Pulling it for someone you know that has been a regular, that is a loyal customer, makes it a little more special.
Absolutely. Now we're going to move from the hardwood to the diamond because you weren't done that day. Next up, you had Shohei Ohtani. You can see it here on the screen. Another kaboom.
Yeah, about an hour later, another group break. This was the Absolute Baseball group break. And John pulled like a Wander Franco and Tatis kaboom. So I was like, I got to one-up John. So this one surprised me. As you'll see here, it was the second card. And I didn't realize it at first. I took the first cough off thinking it was just going to be a bunch of base. And I saw a backwards Ohtani with that kaboom. And I go, there's no way. Because what player right now in baseball is more attractive to try to get than Shohei Ohtani? He's doing different things every day that we didn't think were possible for a baseball player. So to get his kaboom, fantastic.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, funny you said that. We have some footage here. He's coming off a pretty historic week, back-to-back nights too. Tuesday at the plate, he had 8 RBIs, I believe, and then
So he
what
had
was his stat
2
line?
home runs, 8 RBIs. He had the game tying 3-run homer.
Yeah.
And then the next day he just passed the pitch, 8 scoreless, 2 hits allowed, and 13 strikeouts, making him the first player in baseball history to have 8 RBIs in a game and 13 Ks in a game. He did it on back-to-back nights. Just casual for Ohtani, another day at the office.
Yeah, and you see he's got good stuff too. I mean, he's just mowing these guys down. You can see right here on the screen. I mean, his stuff is just nasty. Look at that. That was sick.
His curveball is unhittable when it's on. He's also got a splitter where it looks the same coming out of his hand. The curveball splitter, just about a 10-mile-an-hour difference. He can throw high 90s. He's got the slider. He's got everything you want. And we're talking about a guy who can also hit 40 home runs in a year. It's wild what Shohei Ohtani's turned into.
Yeah, and I saw those stats in those 2 nights. He actually ended up beating both of Babe Ruth's career highs.
Yeah. Which is crazy. Like, Babe Ruth was considered probably the best two-way baseball player of all time.
Yeah.
And I know it was a completely different era, but Ohtani is probably getting close to that, if not already the best two-way player we've ever seen.
Absolutely. So we'll look forward to see what he does toward the All-Star break and even forward into the end of the season. All right, now we're going to move on to what's at the auction. Tickets from Jordan's UNC debut against Kansas in '81 have been a hot item over the last couple years in the hobby. A PSA 1 is currently on the block via Heritage Auctions. Heritage says this is currently the only stub appearing in PSA population for MJ's debut. The current bid is $12,600, and the auction will be closing on Saturday night. So, I mean, if you had a chance at a ticket that was PSA slab, because I know those are becoming big, do you have any in your mind that you would want?
I don't know. I mean, I think personally for me, probably just one of the first games I ever went to, because I used to hold on to the ticket stubs. I used to hold on to them, so they were very important to me. Probably the first ever playoff hockey game I went to, just for a personal collection.
Yeah.
I went to a Predators-Ducks game in Anaheim. Just something I would like to hold on to. I still have that stub. Would be cool to get the slab on it. But what I was saying to you earlier is these are going to become more rare and rare as time goes on, because everyone's getting tickets on their phone now.
Yeah,
you don't
absolutely.
have the stubs anymore.
Absolutely. And for me, I agree with you that I used to hold on to my stuff too. And at that point, it was just kind of a scrapbook situation where I just wanted them. And I never realized that, I forgot technology advances so much. But for me, if I had a dream ticket, it's not even in sports. I got to be honest with you. If I could find a ticket from the 1992 concert at Rich Stadium before it was Ralph Wilson in Buffalo, the bill was Faith No More opening and then Metallica and Guns N' Roses. Metallica was on the Black Album, arguably one of their biggest albums of all time. Guns N' Roses was at their peak.
Right.
Use Your Illusion tour. I mean, I would love to have that PSA slab ticket. I think that would be something that great conversation piece, and I'd love to be able to tell the people the story behind that ticket and have it on display.
Well, we know you love your music, so I'm not
music
surprised
guy.
at all by the choice. And that's the thing. I think for ticket stubs, it wants to be something that resonates with you, right? Something that's personal, something that you really do appreciate holding on to. So that makes perfect sense.
100%. So now we are on to LeBron James triple LOGOMAN watch. It's just like Panda Watch and Anchorman, but this is the holy grail of the 2020-2021 flawless basketball. It's nearing the end of its time on the auction, with this being called the most important Panini LeBron James card that they ever produced. So we thought to ourselves, who better than to talk about it than the man who's currently in possession of it himself? Standing by right now, ladies and gentlemen, I have the distinct honor of introducing Mr. Ken Goldin, the founder of Goldin Auctions. Good morning, Ken. How are you? Hey, Ken, can you hear me? There he is. You are on, sir. We are indeed on. How are you?
Oh my God, I'm eating. You call me eating, listening to music.
Oh, you're fine. That's okay. What's for breakfast this morning? I love that. A DC, very gentlemanlike.
God, right now I'm eating a cup of cereal, Diet Coke.
So that's the secret, right? Is that the secret to running a company? Is cereal in a cup and Diet Coke? That's how you fuel your days, right?
Exactly. That and caffeine pills.
There you go. How have you been, my friend? It's been a few months since I've had a chance to talk to you.
Doing good. Just keep myself busy.
Yeah, no, yeah, right. You're definitely not slacking at all. You've been all over the place.
Yep.
So first question I want to ask you, if you don't mind, we're gonna get into it. I want to know, where did your love for the hobby begin?
I remember literally opening up cards as early as 1972. And I mean, it was just a kid. I was always into sports. It was primarily this is 1970, so it's primarily baseball. Baseball that I was into. The Sixers were horrible. The Eagles were pretty good, and I was into hockey too because Philadelphia Flyers were great. But 72, because the Phillies traded for Steve Carlton, and at the end of the 72 Top Series, they put out 1972 trading cards with Steve Carlton's Philly. So that literally was the first pack that I ever opened up as a 5-year-old kid.
Wow. Dating all the way back there. Yeah, and like you said, the Flyers, Broad Street Bullies in those days, and the days of Pete Rose there too.
Yep.
So next up here, I want to know, you're obviously an influential member of this hobby so far. How did you kind of get, obviously we know how you got into collecting, but how did you get yourself like actually immersed into the hobby and to be such an influential member?
I think it's honestly the length of time I was doing it. I mean, realistically, when I was 13 years old, I was buying and selling cards. I was doing this before there were cell phones, before there was internet, before there was a price guide. I literally used to set up, I would take out an advertisement in the Philadelphia Daily News, South Jersey Courier Post, and literally rent a room at the Philadelphia Holiday Inn with $500 in cash and tell people to bring your baseball cards. At the time, I wasn't really worried about getting mugged or anything like that, right? My dad was there with me, and people were bringing cards, and I would buy EP006 cards probably for $1 a piece, because that was, I said, what do you want? He goes, the guy had 200 cards, $200. I rip out $200 and I pay the man. But, it's really from a history of doing so many different things in the hobby. Okay, you want to talk cards? I handled all the most valuable cards in the world. I, bought and sold either as an individual as a kid or, through the scoreboard days, manufacturing trading cards. I mean, people look at all the iconic draft pick sets, classic Shaq's first card, Kobe's first card, first autograph insert cards, the first autograph game used cards were all ideas of mine in the 1990s, way before Exquisite or any of this other stuff came out. And they all copied me. Then you had all the athlete contracts, dealing with Joe DiMaggio, Muhammad Ali, Mickey Mantle, Cal Ripken, Ken Griffey Jr., Joe Montana, Wayne Gretzky, all these guys were under contract. So, and then finally, really being the guy on TV that was selling everything. So yeah. I think that I just put myself out there significantly before there was anything such as social media. There was no Twitter, there was no Instagram, there was no TikTok, but people knew me because I was just that guy who did that stuff. And obviously, when I started Goldin, my whole philosophy was that the people who are true collectors are going to find me because I'm going to have the product. What I wanted to do was get the people that were general sports fans and casual collectors, maybe the guy who goes to Walmart and Target and buys a pack of cards, but really doesn't get it graded and, doesn't go online and talk about it, get him interested in the hobby, get him buying with us and get him more active, as well as the casual sports fan who could say, hey, wow, I just watched a Celtics game, I could get a Tatum jersey, or I just watched a Laker game, I can get a Kobe jersey, depending on the year. And those are the people that I've gone out after, and that's made my business very successful.
Yeah, and you talk about the social media age, and I must say that, kudos, you've adapted very well to that because, I see that your platforms are definitely taking off there. But I want to get to what we want to talk about is what's currently up for auction on your website that is closing tomorrow. Now, I know you had spoken about the card. You had made some videos. Oh, are we doing a little reveal here? Oh.
That, I mean, do you want to talk about this card?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's the one I'm talking about. I might have been I
Okay.
might be mentioning.
Okay.
Look at that. Heck of a reveal there. So now that you have this in your hands, you're holding it right there. It's in front of you. I want to know though, when you heard that Panini was producing this card, what was your initial reaction to the thought that there's going to be a triple LeBron James logo man?
I thought it was a great idea. I thought obviously they're the only ones that can do it because Lakers, exquisite could have done it perhaps in 2009 with Miami and the Cavs, but with the Lakers, I thought it was a great concept. My initial thought was probably that this is going to be a $500,000 plus card. People are going to want this card. But the fervor that took place is something that I had never seen before. I mean, it was, you typically have a bounty. I remember when this Zion came out, and there was a $500,000 bounty that came out, and then somebody on Instagram had to top it and said, I'll pay $550. And we thought that was a big deal. Somebody paying $550,000 for a card that literally was going to be pulled out of a pack the same year. It had never happened in the history of trading cards. I mean, cards have sold for $500,000 and $1 million, but not that were just pulled out of a pack, like literally the next day. Even the Luka card, that was a 2018 card, and that transaction took place in early 2021 was that sale for $4+ million. So I thought it was a great concept. And when I saw how much the public would caught up in the imagination and how much of the national press had gravitated towards it as well, because typically we don't. You don't get USA Today, you don't get Sports Illustrated and ESPN talking, or TMZ talking about a trading card, unless it's a 52 mantle that just sold for $5 million or a AUCTON Wagner. So I thought, okay, this is going to be a special card, and this is going to be a special product.
So now I want to know, obviously you explaining all of that, where in the process did you finally decide, like, all right, you know what, now I kind of want to get in the chase, where you got a little hungry and you wanted to find this yourself?
So what happened was I had not opened up any, I had not participated. Actually, wait. So I did. I had Shine on Instagram had flown up some cases to Philly, and I've got a suite at the 76ers, and I'm supporting my 76ers today, even though they did not draft a single player because they traded their pick. But we opened up about 5 cases at the Four Seasons in Philadelphia after one of the 76ers game, looking for the card. And then a couple weeks later, I literally got a phone call at 1 a.m. Because this is after Drake had, under his Instagram handle, not in person, but had gone on and, showed his cases on his Instagram story and was opening up cases, or at least typing in the chat. So I got a phone call from Jared Blesnick at 1 a.m. and said, hop on your Instagram live. Let's go open up some Flawless. And I'm like, it was actually 1:30 in the morning, Eastern time. And I'm like, it's 1:30 in the morning. He goes, oh, give me about an hour. I said, no. If you want me to do this, I will go downstairs. I will go in my office. I will do this. We need to do it now. And so he's sitting there in front of 35 cases. So we started talking about it. So let's open up a case. And I just typed up in the chat room, hey, if Drake is out there, because he'd been opening up product, if Drake is out there, I will do a case war with you personally. And for those of you who don't know what a case war is, it's basically if you had, a case of Flawless with 2 boxes, you each get a box, we open it up, whoever gets the single highest value card keeps both persons' boxes. So a friend of mine who, knows Drake very well, texted me and goes, I'm going to get Drake on right now. So a few minutes later, Drake is literally on my Instagram. So I had dealt with Drake for a number of years because he had bought a lot of memorabilia from Goldin, but I dealt with his management group because they always placed bids for him, or they always contacted me and say, hey, Drake's looking for this or Drake's looking for that. Can you find it for him? I never face to face with him. But that's really how it started is we were just on my personal Instagram at 3:30 in the morning, and it dragged on to like 4 a.m. And finally I said, okay, this is the last case we're opening because I've already canceled all my morning meetings, but I do have to work tomorrow.
So all right. So from there, I know what happened from there. Maybe some people don't, but speaking of, we had some early morning in Toronto. So I want to know from there that you had the Instagram live with them. How did the physical break in Toronto come about that I had the pleasure of being a part of with you?
Sure. So at that point, so I had contacted, really through three ways. I'd contacted his manager and say, hey, is there any way that anything could be done in person with Drake? If he's really interested, I'll try and get some cases. Cardporn had contacted me and said, hey, I'm trying to do something in person with Drake. Do you think you can get some cases? And then a mutual friend, Jason Kuntz, had been working on it as well. So, as you guys know, everybody was at the Vegas summit, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, when can I do it? When can I do it? And I'm filming my Netflix series while this whole thing is going on. So I'm traveling, and I've got shoot dates, and I've got a certain schedule. And I said, this literally has to be done this Sunday if I am going to do it. I'll gather the cases, I'll fly to Toronto, and I will, bring cases with me. And it was arranged that that day would work for him. So I literally, got a plane. You guys were in the Mint Collective. I worked out with my old friend Adam Martin, who I literally have known probably since 29 years. Since way back when I started in the business. And so I guess were you personally in Vegas, and did you personally fly back?
Yeah, so I for one was in Vegas, hopped on the flight, spent all day in an airport Saturday, and met you up there on Sunday.
Yes, so you guys got the cases. I brought, now knowing that this could be a hit or miss, but the way Flawless is, I wanted Drake's first in-person experience to make sure it was successful. So I had a box of 86 Fleer that had literally been sitting right there where that 79 OPG box is now for 2 years. Every time I do a break with my son, anytime I do an interview, it had been sitting back there. I said, this is a special occasion. I'm going to break this box with Drake. But then here's the part that people don't know. So the box was BBCE certified. This was on the heels of the Pokemon incident. So I spoke to Steve Hart and I said, hey, I'm going to open up this 86 Fleer box on a live stream with Drake. A lot of people are going to watch this. Do you want to check this box again and make sure this is a good box? So I shipped him I FedExed him the box. He looked at the box. He issued a new letter. We knew that there were 3. He told me the pattern is perfect for all original Fleer pattern. And he couldn't tell, obviously, how many Jordan rookies were in there, but, they can look carefully and see through the backs. They go, you're going to get 3 Jordan rookie stickers in the back. So I knew that, but nobody else knew that. So we flew that up, and that's what I wanted to do first with him to get it off to a rolling start. And, of course, what happened was I opened up the first pack, and it was a dud. And then he didn't know he was going to be touching cards. He was constantly told, you're not touching cards. I said, you're opening up this box, Smith. Here you go. So he reached in the middle, pulled out a pack, and of course that pack was and had an 86 Jordan rookie in it, and then off we went.
Yeah, I remember that. That was magic right there. I know for a first pack, that was crazy.
Yep.
So a lot of
Yep.
fun to be a part of, and I always cherish that. So I appreciate it. I want to get back into the LOGOMAN itself, though. Right now,
Yeah.
I kind of want to know, since the card surfaced, what was kind of that timeline in terms of you getting in touch with the winners, and then obviously it being presented to you after being sent off to PSA. So I just kind of wanted to know that timeline.
It was
there.
all. It was look. The good news is it was all almost instantly. Literally the night it was pulled, I contacted Backyard Breakers. I said, "Hey, put me in touch with the guys." Then they said they're trying to figure out what they want to do, and back and forth. And about 2 days later, I got an email from the three of them that basically said, "Hey, we'd really like to work with you. We think your marketing, your promotion is perfect for the card, but from a business standpoint, we do need to shop this around." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Let's get on a phone call." And we got on a phone call. I told them what I would do for them financially, and I told them what I would do for them marketing wise. And I knew as I had the call that I was going to get the card. I mean, there was no doubt in my mind. We literally, they called me back, a few hours later, said, you get the card. And I flew somebody down to Florida to get the card. I flew them up to my office, and then we made the decision to, hey, let's get it slabbed by PSA. And I flew a security guard to PSA, met Nat Turner at the door, handed Nat the card, waited a couple hours, got the card back, and had the card in New Jersey, and off we went.
And there it is, and the rest is history, obviously, and will be history. Yep. So I know you mentioned earlier about, TMZ, ESPN, everybody picking this up. So I want to know, like, from your perspective, I'm sure you're a natural at this point. I know that you've done that, but what's the media whirlwind been like, surrounding this card?
I've been it's been tremendous about how popular the card is nationally and internationally. When you see stuff in Dubai, because I get Google alerts on my name, my company's name. So when you see articles coming out in Dubai, in the Philippines, in Australia, I've done interviews literally with, I've done it with Fox Business, I've done it with ESPN, I've done it with Fox Regular News, I've done it with CNN, I've done it with ABC, Reuters, Bloomberg, and Sports Illustrated. All had this information. We coordinated with a number of national, articles to give them a story and put out a release, and all simultaneously release it on the same day. The day we went to preview, and it's just been nonstop. The interest. We decided to go out of the box. We wanted to really put the card on a platform that trading cards had not been on before. And we took out the ads in Times Square. We took out the special, I don't know what the hell they're called, the digital ads throughout New York City, where like you literally could be walking past a subway stop and it lights up and it shows a picture of the card. It's got a QR code. And if you look at the QR, put your phone in the QR code, it goes right to our website where the bidding is. So things like that have really called a lot of attention to the card and to the hobby. Look, I think that, I think Panini should be paying half my advertising budget, but we know how that works. But it has given them and given the product line a tremendous amount of attention and awareness for people who have no friggin' clue what it is.
I agree. And it's now you can add David Adams, The Chase, to that list of obviously prestigious outlets, right? Like CNN and Fox News and Fox.
Exactly.
Business.
Yep. 100%.
So last but not least, before I let you go, is there anything, I know the auction is ending tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Is there any last things you want to say, anything you want to get out there to the people who may be interested in bidding?
Sure. So the first thing you need to realize is to bid, you've got to have three things. Number one is you got to register. So you have to register at goldin.co or goldinauctions.com. They both go to the same site, and register to bid. We do credit check everybody who's placing a bid over $10,000. So if you plan on bidding, considering the current bid is 1.8 million, you need to get credit approved. Okay, you will not be able to place a bid without credit approval. So that's important. So people, what that does is that stops random people from logging in 5 minutes before the auction ends and trying to jack up the price. It does not happen at Goldin. The third thing is you need to have an initial bid in before 10 p.m. We do this lot, and everything else in the auction is on extended bidding terms, which basically means that the auction at 10 o'clock is open for a 30-minute period only to those people who have placed a bid on it. So we've got 600 lots. Every one of those 600 lots is on its own 30-minute clock. So if this card goes 30 minutes with no bids between 10 and 10:30, it ends at 10:30. But if this card gets a bid at 10:15 p.m., the clock resets to 10:45. While the LeBron, RPA Gold may end at a different time, and a Will Chamberlain jersey may end at a different time. So that's it. Every lot is its own unique auction with its own closing time once 10 p.m. starts. But you have to have a bid in prior to 10 p.m. on any lot to participate in extended bidding.
Very important notes there. I appreciate you sharing that. Ken, where can people find you on social media? Where can we give you a chance to plug your platforms there?
Well, Goldin is at Goldin Co. everywhere. At Goldin Co. on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, social media, and I'm just simply my name. At Ken Goldin. Of course, that's Goldin on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. If you want to see me dance, you can go to TikTok. No, actually, I don't dance on TikTok. I joke with my daughter Laura because she dances on TikTok, and I have 30,000 times of followers she has, because all I do is talk about sports cards and memorabilia. But yeah, so what I do on TikTok is pretty much, if you've ever seen those 60-second videos where I talk about a product, that's what I do, and people seem to like it, so I'm going to keep doing it.
I'm still waiting for that Ken Goldin TikTok dance, though. I think I'm going to hold out for that one.
Yeah, we'll do that on the Netflix premiere.
There we go. Perfect. You heard it here first, folks. Ken, it was a pleasure and honor. Thanks again for joining us. I'll let you get back to your DC and cup of cereal.
Thanks. Have a good one. Talk to you later.
Right. You too, Ken.
Yep. Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Ken Goldin right there. Once again, thanks for joining us. That discussion kind of got me in the mood.
Ooh, mood for what?
For a little rip. You want to go out for a little rip?
Yeah, let's see what we can get.
Ooh, I'm glad you said that, because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? As you see here, we've got ourselves a box of 2021-2022 Panini Contenders basketball that we are going to rip. It's going to be a giveaway. This one is going to be for Twitch subscribers only. So on Monday, if you are a Twitch subscriber, at the top of the show on Monday, we will be doing a random, and we will be giving away the cards in the box. As well, when you watch on YouTube, if you comment on the YouTube, we are going to be giving away a $100 store credit for the online store. So check that out too. But mainly, we want to get Twitch subscribers. One lucky winner on Monday is going to get the cards that we are going to pull from here. Now, there's only one thing left to do. Meerkat dear. Oh, thank you so much. There's my cutter.
Thank you, Meerkat.
Round of applause for Meerkat. All right, here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to split this. Hoops is in the chat, and he says Troy sliding the DC reference in there. If you guys didn't get that, that was totally Cougine. Shout out Meals by Cougine. Take care, brush your hair. All right, we're going to take half of this box. I'm going to take one half. Steve's going to take this half. I'm going to slide it over to Steve.
Thank you very much.
There you go, sir. Sorry, I got T-Rex arms. I know you do, too.
Yeah.
As I always do.
Short kings, right?
Short kings go off, baby. That's how we do it. I'm going to clear the slate here. I guess I'll go first. Tyler's got my overhead camera on. I think 2 autos per box, right?
I believe.
We're going to go 1 pack me, 1 pack Steve, back and forth. All right, here we go. And obviously a great rookie class last year.
Very good rookie class. The big three, Barnes, Mobley, Cade. But there's so many more guys beyond that too, right?
Yeah, I thought it was like not being a huge basketball guy. I did think that it was quite a deep class last year.
Very deep class. I mean, the Magic have a few guys with Suggs, Wagner. You have Chris Duarte, who played well for the Pacers. A lot of good names.
Oh, what do I got here?
Ooh, something shiny.
The Thunder. It's going to be Rookie of the Year of Trey Mann.
Speaking of the Thunder, Josh Giddy, another huge name.
Which he got injured last year, right? Toward the end of the season.
He was on and off a little bit with injuries, but when healthy, he reminds me a little bit of Luka Doncic, the stuff he can do. And that's high praise coming from a huge Luka Doncic fan.
Luka super fan over there.
Yeah.
All right. Are we going to
right.
get some first pack magic? What do you think?
We'll see. We'll see. It's usually the last pack magic, but we'll see what we can get.
That's Steve's gimmick.
Always, you know how it goes.
I do be knowing how it goes.
All right, let's see. Nothing crazy. Trey Young sweet shots.
All right.
Not too shabby.
Little insert action there.
Yeah.
All right, back to me. Let's see what we got. See, shout out Panini. These packs are nice and easy
Oh,
to rip.
that's my complaint sometimes about other packs.
Yeah, right.
Panini, though, never a problem.
Clean.
Never a problem.
Clean. All right, Duncan Robinson, Brogdon. Oh, there you go. LaMelo, sophomore card. Here's Barnes. What we got in the back here? All right, looks like this is just going to be... Oh, I lied. How about Hachimura out of 249, though? Playoff ticket, which is interesting because the Wizards don't make the playoffs.
Yeah,
Did I
they've
say
been struggling a little bit, but
Well, you know, just a little
we'll
bit.
see. All right, going for pack number 2. There's Jason Tatum. His value was raised after the playoff run he had. And out of 75, nice Karl Anthony Towns.
Little cat there.
Nice little Towns. 47 of 75.
Love to
That's
see it.
worthy of a bag.
Want to shout out to Chelsea Dagger 06 real quick. New to DNA and The Chase. Have been watching first 5 episodes. So thanks for the viewership. Really
Awesome.
appreciate that. Make sure you're subscribing to the Twitch too. All right.
No autos yet.
No autos yet.
Still
We're still
looking.
searching for the autos. You know, I got to be honest with you. Pretty sure when we opened up baseball the other day, it was last pack magic. I think David opened the last pack,
Yeah.
and that was the auto.
I'm hoping mine's in the last pack because I got to keep that going, right?
Yeah, I
I'm the
mean that's
last pack
that's your
magic guy.
brand. I was gonna say that's your
Exactly.
brand now. All right. PG. Terrence Ross. Ant sophomore card there. Give me something. Okay. Oh, these are the lucky or the lottery tickets or
Yeah,
something.
could
Lucky
be a
7.
lucky.
Ooh. All right. How about a Suggs?
Love Jalen Suggs.
Which who did Orlando end up with last night though?
Orlando, they shocked the world. We might get into that a little later.
I think
but
we will. They
I
went with
thought it was going to be someone else. Orlando surprised me.
yeah, they went with
Bancaro.
Bancaro.
Yeah.
Bancaro. So, and I know it seems like they're trying to build a good young core there. Cole Anthony, the Wagners, Suggs.
Yep.
You know,
And Suggs was really hyped coming out of Gonzaga. Had a disappointing rookie season, but he's a guy I think who can really make a jump this coming season. And speaking of Chris Duarte, there he is. Lottery tickets, Chris Duarte. The Pacers, they got a guy I really like.
yeah.
Halliburton, going to have a second year for the Pacers. Duarte too. And they took Ben Mathurin, who I'll talk about later.
Oh,
but
he's teasing you right now.
Yeah, a little bit of tease.
Steve's
Gotta
a
get the
tease.
tease.
Steve's a tease.
just a little bit.
Real quick, Hoop Hits is in the chat. He says, "What's the command to make Troy say he loves you?" The command is, "I love you, Troy." He said, "Watch. Troy's rule is he always says it back unless he breaks his word. And my heart. Yeah,
Oh.
there you go. Thank you. This camera right here. Ready, Hoops? Love you.
Love you
There you
too,
go.
Hoops.
Steve loves you too. Go ahead, say it to the camera.
Love you too, Hoops. and here's the thing, right? You can break your word. You can't break his heart.
No,
No,
I would never want to do that. I'm not
no,
out here to break cards.
No.
I'm out here to break cards, which we're gonna do right now. All right. Oh, I saw something. Hopefully nobody else saw it. I didn't see the name. That's the thing, though. I didn't see the name,
Okay.
but I saw
Alright.
something. Zion. There he is, De'Aaron. Also, I always said about De'Aaron Fox, I think all of his talent was in his afro, and after he cut it, I'm just saying. Trey, LeBron James, and we've got a redemption, folks.
It can be a big rookie
Here.
from this class with
Let me
redemptions.
do a little of this action. We'll do a little. I don't want to slow roll, but we'll rip down here. Rookie variation season ticket. Scotty Lewis.
Oh.
I saw Scotty before I saw Lewis. So there you go. Redemption there. Scotty Lewis.
I was going to say there are Scotty Barnes redemptions in this set, as well as other Panini sets as well. So
Well, I got some butterflies. I saw Scotty, and I
when you
was
see
like,
that Scotty, oh,
Scotty doesn't know.
exactly. All right, let's get into my fourth pack here. All right.
Good morning, S'mores. Don't worry, you're never late to the party. You're just in time.
Never.
You're early for the next party.
Got something shiny. Hey, Meerkat Bones Highland from the Nuggets. He's a guy. First off,
Did you say
awesome
Bones?
name. Bones Highland. Awesome name.
I'm gonna work on legally changing my name to Bones.
And then he played pretty well. The Nuggets, without Michael Porter, without Jamal Murray this year, still put up a great fight. Jokic carried them, and Bones had a great role off the bench. He's someone next year keep your eye on.
Definitely. All right. Back at it. We've got one auto. It was redemption. Shout out David. David's in the chat. He says, Troy, you look great in the Bison jersey. Appreciate that.
How
Can you see
doing,
it's
David?
mesh so you can see all my chest hair beneath it? All right. Clay. Ben Simmons. Actually, speaking of Ben Simmons, too, how about all that noise about KD and Kyrie possibly leaving the Nets now?
I feel like Kyrie just spins a wheel and picks a team every year. He's like, I'll try here.
Throwing at a dart.
Yeah.
He's just throwing darts.
Exactly.
All right, who we got here? We got sweet shots of Chris Middleton.
All right.
There you go. Those sweet shots.
Sweet
All right,
shot,
we got
Middleton.
you got 2 packs left, right?
We got 2 packs
all
left.
right, all right. I think
We'll
you are gonna
see.
have last pack magic.
I hope so, man. I hope so. All right, let's see what we got here. Devontae Graham.
Bill Dozer says Troy Bones. I dig it. Should be my. Is that my TV name?
Kevin Love and Josh Primo. Rookie for the Spurs. Love the way the lottery tickets look, too.
Do you? I'm asking because you have the chance to break a lot more than me.
Yeah.
Are there auto variations of those ones?
I personally haven't seen it yet.
Because I think those would
So,
look great.
but that would be cool.
Right?
Mhm.
All right. Last pack for me. Let's see.
Let's see. If you don't get the auto, that means you might have last pack magic.
Oh boy. Did you see it?
I did.
Oh, Tyler saw it. That means everybody else saw it.
Oh,
Sorry, guys.
no. Oh,
Tyler
no.
goes, oh.
I didn't see the name. But
Okay, okay.
I know the auto.
Oh, God. All right. Oh, man. How? I took one side, you took one side. You
Yeah.
guys saw it, so that was like even.
Well, I think with Panini too, it's always in a random spot.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
I like.
Yeah, which is crazy that so it's awesome that it was stacked up.
Oh, you do have the
Yeah, I got it.
auto.
JT Thor? Oh, you thought of it. Tyler thought it was LaMelo.
Yeah.
Tyler definitely
you're-
thought it was LaMelo.
Year 2 LaMelo been crazy.
Yeah, that
Rookie
would've been
ticket
awesome.
auto though still.
Yeah, rookie ticket auto. Definitely, if you don't mind, I just want to show that off real quick one more time. I don't know what you're laughing at, but all right.
Wrong sound effect.
Oh, there it is. He said he was laughing at me. Oh man, now we just literally got every sound effect on the board in one there. All right,
So
you guys are gonna
no
watch me. I look like
auto for
Antonio
me.
Brown trying to.
No last pack magic.
No
but
last pack, man.
maybe
Well,
we
you
can
never
get,
know.
Maybe we can get a good rookie.
It's always
right?
on average, baby. It's
True.
always on average.
Exactly. All right, let's see what we got here. Jimmy Butler. There's Jaylen Brown.
Bill Dozer says, Steve, we're gonna love this last pack.
And there's Jaylen Brown again, Sweet Shots. Another one who really raised his value from his play in the playoffs.
I would say so. I thought he really impressed me.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
All he really has to do is work on his dribbling a little bit. He can turn it over. But in terms of shooting, mid-range, three-point shots, Jaylen Brown just a knockdown sharpshooter.
Yeah. So we're gonna stick with basketball though. I'm trying to get my notes here. You know me, I'm always unorganized. Yeah, we're gonna pick it up here and we are going to do the highlight reel. So I want to get in with you. Let's do a little bit here. We're gonna talk about your reaction to the draft last night. Obviously, being our basketball savant, as I like to call it. I don't mince words. I want to get into your reaction to the draft last night, where people went and how it'll impact the hobby. But real quick, before we get into that, I just want to remind people of the giveaway that we are doing on Monday morning for Twitch subscribers only. At the top of the show on Monday, we will be choosing a random person. We'll be doing a random, and whoever wins that random will be getting the cards that Steve and I just broke. And as well, if you are watching the replay of this show on our YouTube, make sure you are commenting on that. One lucky person who comments on the YouTube is going to get a $100 credit for the website. So, Twitch on Monday, random, someone's going to get the packs we just opened. YouTube replay, I just hit the mic one time. YouTube comments, one of the commenters is going to get a $100 gift card.
Not a bad
to the
deal
website.
either way.
Yeah, $100 credit. Yeah, either way. So, be a Twitch subscriber, watch our YouTube. That's basically all you got to do. Pretty simple, I would think.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Now, this is you right here. This is spotlight's on you, baby. What happened last night? What went down?
So last night was the NBA draft. A lot of hype coming into it. There was kind of a big three, right, that everyone knew was going to be top three picks. Didn't really know what order. Jabari Smith Jr. out of Auburn, Chet Holmgren out of Gonzaga, and then you have who went one, Paulo Bancaro from Duke, which was a little surprising, Troy.
Yeah,
surprising.
Interesting note that I saw, and this is for you betting fans out there. I believe it was through FanDuel. Banchero was plus 1,800. I saw somebody put a $25 bet on him, ended up turning it into $475.
Well, what's crazy too is 10 minutes before the draft, Jabari Smith Jr. was minus 6,000 odds. So if you're familiar with betting in any way, shape, or form, that is as sure of a lock as it gets, right?
Yeah.
So Bancaro was still at that point, I think was plus 580. Crazy.
Yeah,
It felt like it was a giant smokescreen the whole time. Everyone was like, Jabari Smith's going to go one. The Magic love him. And then sure enough, the Magic take Bancaro at one.
All right, now let's get into it. Let's break it down. Give me these guys in your ranking and how you think they're going to be within the hobby.
Yeah. So I have 5 guys right now. We're going to go in reverse order because that's more fun anyway.
Of course.
Going from 5 to 1 of guys I think for the hobby value, potential landing spot. And we're going to start off with the guy who I thought was going to go first overall, but he's still 5th in the hobby for me, and that's Jabari Smith Jr. out of Auburn. So when you think of Jabari Smith Jr., think of Ben Simmons with a jump shot and a work ethic. That's really the key for Jabari Smith Jr. He's 6'10", 220 pounds. He's got a big frame. He's actually built very similar to Michael Porter Jr. for the Nuggets, and he releases his jump shot very high, which means it's very easy for him to get open looks, hard for defenders to contest him. He can create his own shot. But what I love about Jabari Smith Jr., he's just got so much length. And so he's going to be in because you have a guy like Jalen Green who exploded at the end of last year and looked like a guy who can average 25, even 30 a game. And now you have another scorer in Jabari Smith Jr. who can really shoot from anywhere on the floor. He can take it to the rim. The only really downside to Jabari Smith Maybe not the best playmaker, but Jabari Smith Jr. is someone who can kind of do everything for offense and defense.
Okay, so let's move on to number 5. Who's your number 5 guy?
That is number 5. Jabari Smith was number 5.
I apologize. I'm sorry. Let's move on to
No,
number
you're
4.
You're
I'm
good.
getting my numbers all mixed up. I forgot. You said we're going to go in reverse order. Obviously, leaving the first for last.
Of course.
The big one. The big dog.
Have to. And this is hobby value. This isn't guys where they're picked. So number 4 actually wasn't taken in the top 5. He was still a high pick. He was the 6th overall pick. And if you've listened to my streams or any of my kind of analysis of basketball, I've been raving about Ben Mathurin from Arizona from the start. When I look at Ben Mathurin, I think he is DeMar DeRozan, essentially. I think he can get to DeMar DeRozan. He's 6'6", 205, and he's just muscle. This guy is strong. He has thrown down some of the most vicious dunks you will ever see. He can create his own shot. He has athleticism just off the charts. And what I like about Ben Mathurin, probably more than any of the other 5 I'm going to mention, maybe there's one other guy, but driving to the rim. I don't think anyone drives harder to the rim than Ben Mathurin. He made a lot of and-one, contact dunks, contact layups, and you need that kind of physicality at the next level in the NBA because you're going up against guys that are the strongest, the tallest players in the world. Ben Mathurin is someone who his cons, not many cons to him.
Really? A lot of upside?
His ball handling can improve, and his defensive effort can be lacking sometimes, but it's not stuff you can't teach, right?
Right.
Ben Mathurin has the stuff you can't teach. He has the athletic ability you can't teach. So I have him at 4, even though he was taken 6th overall, and I think part of the reason I have him at 4, Troy, I love the landing spot. He's on the Pacers now with Tyrese Halliburton. So we saw what Tyrese did when he joined the Pacers. He turned into a superstar, basically a triple-double machine. Now he gets a pure scorer with Ben Mathurin that can score from anywhere in the court and will drive. I think it's a match made in heaven for that duo, and it's kind of like 2 guys that are just going to play off each other and help each other's value going forward.
So do you think, last year, do you almost feel like the Pacers were playing chess instead of checkers by moving and getting Halliburton, and then obviously this move to get Matheson?
Well, I think the Pacers knew they weren't in a win-now situation, and I'm still shocked they got Halliburton from the Kings. I think that was a great steal, and they knew they weren't going to be a great team, so they'd have another high pick, and they're getting a guy they can pair perfectly with Halliburton. It's similar to a chess, not checkers deal. I still think the Pacers maybe are a little bit further away than other teams, but they're definitely heading in the right direction, and it's a great young core to build off of.
David's here playing armchair quarterback. He wanted to chime in and say, don't forget the most important storyline of the draft. The Cavs drafted Evan Mobley's brother.
They did. They drafted Isaiah Mobley, who it's awesome. That means the Cavs basically are all in on Evan Mobley. They want to make him happy, right? Take his brother. And his brother's basically like a poor man's Evan Mobley. He's a good player. Great shot blocker like Evan Mobley. He can shoot a little bit better than Evan Mobley, which is interesting. And the Cavs also take OJ Abaji from Kansas, who was the Final Four most outstanding player of the year. Love the draft the Cavs had. The Cavs are a team to definitely keep your eye on in the East. The Mobley brothers, I mean, come on. We love when brothers play together. The Antetokounmpo brothers for the Bucks.
Of course.
Now if the Cavs got the Mobley brothers, and if they're on the court at the same time, good luck scoring on the inside. That's 2 7-footers that know how to block shots.
Love a good family affair in professional sports, I gotta say. And then of course too, they still have Colin Sexton and Okoro as well, correct?
Yeah, they have Sexton, Okoro, and Darius Garland, who's probably the best guard of those 3. Darius Garland really took the leap last year, and that's the one big thing I say about the hobby, especially basketball. These guys are so talented. They just need the opportunity. Maybe in their rookie year, they'll, only play 10, 15 minutes off the bench. Be like, oh, this guy's not that great. Give him a couple years, because Garland finally got his opportunity when Sexton went down with an injury. Started playing 30, 35 minutes in the starting lineup. Next thing you know, he's averaging 20 points, 8 assists a game, and making some highlight-type passes.
All right. Well, let's move on here. We're gonna go to number 3. Who is number 3?
So number 3, and I'll preface this by saying I want to put him at 1, but I have to give respect to the big 3. But
Okay.
in terms of potential, I don't think there's anyone in this draft class with more potential than Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey is a highlight reel every time he touches the ball.
And we're seeing that right now on the screen.
The game when they're against Ohio State. He's 6'4", 200 pounds, but when you watch him, Troy, he looks like Ja Morant.
Mm-hmm.
He drives the lane with intensity. He is not intimidated by taller, bigger defenders. He has more athleticism than probably anyone in college, and I would say when he steps on the court in the NBA, there's not many guys that are more athletic than Ivy. He's been compared to Ja Morant. He's been compared to Dwayne Wade. And this is a guy who plays with confidence. He's not going to shy away from the big moment. He's not going to stop shooting if he's in a cold spurt. And yeah, maybe sometimes that can be a bad thing, but we've seen it before. Shoot out of your slump. Jaden Ivey will not shy away from that. If he misses his first 4 shots, it does not matter. He is the quickest player in the draft. I mean, he gets up and down the court in the blink of an eye. His first step, like that, the movement out
Sure.
of the, triple threat position is ridiculous. Guys just can't keep up with him, and he has so much strength for a guard. And he's joining, and this is why I wanted to put him at 1, right? The Detroit Pistons, who have the first pick from last year in Cade Cunningham, who really looked good in the second half of the year, can probably become like a triple-double machine.
Sure.
And Sadiq Bey, who could probably average 20, 25 a game. He's just the perfect, spot-up shooter. Scored 50 in a game this year. People don't even realize that because it's Sadiq Bey of the Pistons. But I love this trio of guards they put together. And when you have a guy like Cade, who already has so much hobby value, everyone wants to get Cade from this
absolutely
class. When you have a guy like that, and now you pair him with basically a highlight reel machine and Jaden Ivey, people are going to want to watch the Pistons this year. And there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on Jaden Ivey. And I'm going to say just probably a month in, those who are more into the NBA, not necessarily college basketball, are going to be like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Like, what have I missed about this guy? He like I said, he can get to the point of Ja Morant. And you and I both know the type of value Ja Morant has
right now. He is unbelievable. I mean, yeah, I feel like last year was definitely last year was his 3rd year, Ja Morant, right? And I feel like he just took off. Like that was the defining year for him, to show that he went from high ceiling to he's there.
He's a superstar.
He's a superstar.
There's no
exactly.
debate about it anymore. Ja Morant is a superstar. And I think with Jaden Ivey, we could see a similar trajectory with maybe the first couple of years he's learning, he's going through the motions. And then year 2 or 3
has that breakout.
Like, here's the breakout.
Yeah.
Jaden Ivey is that guy you want from this class.
Real quick, before we get into number 2, I just wanted to go to the chat. Tone5490 says he's super pumped to see Jaden Ivey with Cade.
Me too. I think that was the perfect landing spot for him, and everyone was a little worried that he may not get there because maybe the Kings take him at 4 or trade the pick. Kings end up taking Keegan Murray, who's probably the most NBA ready right now, but in terms of potential, I'll take Jaden Ivey 10 times out of 10.
Wahoo says, too, thank you to Detroit for taking Kemba's contract.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, they traded for Kemba. Why would they do that with these young guards? And it's a buyout, which makes sense.
Yeah, which is tough because, not to get too deep into that, but Kemba always liked the way he played and obviously made an impact on the Knicks last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who we got at number 2?
So number 2, I'm going with the first overall pick, Paulo Bancaro.
Okay.
Paulo Bancaro, the best thing I can say about him, there's no true weakness. Paulo Bancaro can do it all. His NBA comparison, Julius Randle, which I know Randle had kind of a down year.
Sure.
But they're comparing him to Randle because of his strength. He has superhuman strength.
And what I was going to say is I just feel like, Julius Randle having a little bit of a down year, but I feel like the Knicks in general were just a little bit of a down year.
Yeah, and it almost felt like sometimes Randle, I think, was a little frustrated from the playoffs the previous season against the Hawks.
Yeah.
Didn't play too well. And he knows that there's other guys on the Knicks, so maybe Obi Toppin was taking some minutes from him. But I think Bancaro is the best of Julius Randle. When Randle was at his peak 2 seasons ago, that's where I see Bancaro. Just a ton of size and strength. And the big thing about Bancaro, Troy, he can pass for a big man. He can pass big time for a big man. So I would say Bancaro is someone that is a safe pick, right? He's a safe guy to invest in, but he's also someone who can turn into a multi-time All-Star.
Yeah, I find it very interesting because on Wednesday's show, when I was talking with David, we did our mock of the top 3, and I noticed that I think just about every outlet except for one had Jabari, Chet, Bancaro.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. That's what I had, because the whole, like, leading up to the draft, a couple months before, you used to hear Jabari to the Magic, Jabari to the Magic. They have their eyes set on Jabari. And I thought Bancaro a great landing spot in Houston if he was going to go at 3. I think OKC was a lock to take Chet, just the way their team's built. And something must have happened, Troy. Or it was a smoke screen by the Magic where they saw Bancaro. And the one thing I want to say about Bancaro, he definitely played the best in the tournament, in the big games, compared to Chet and Jabari. And that could have been the deciding moment for the Magic. Against higher competition, better teams, Bancaro played probably his best basketball of the year. And that's something you want to see, because when you're at the next level in the NBA, you're playing the best players in the world night after night. So Bancaro is a guy who really stepped up in the big games, and that could have been why he was taken at 1.
On a lighter note, I got to ask, though, did you obviously you had Jabari at 5. You've got Bancaro down at 2 here. Now, was this all predetermined by you yesterday, or did you have a little shakeup after you actually physically watched the draft?
There was a little shakeup based on landing spots, I
Sure.
would say. I think Jabari moved down a little bit for me, just because he is really a pure scorer, and we kind of saw that out of Jalen Green. And there's only one basketball in Houston, right? And I know they can both probably average 25 a game, but Jalen Green, I think, will still be the primary scoring option. So that's why Jabari moved a little bit down for me. And Bancaro actually moved up because I think the Magic's a great landing spot for him. If Jabari was there, maybe we would have flip-flopped the positions, right? Second for the hobby would be Jabari, 5th Bancaro. But I like the landing spot for Bancaro, and I think Bancaro's pro-ready, where Jabari and the Rockets maybe a little bit further away than the Magic, that are already building on a nice young core. Cole Anthony's there. You have Suggs and Wagner from last year. Wendell Carter played well.
Yeah.
So it's a good landing spot for Bancaro. So that changed it a little bit. And then Jaden Ivey, I wouldn't have put him as high as 3 if he went somewhere else, but the Pistons, man, it's a perfect landing spot for him.
Sure. And I think with Bancaro, he definitely has the opportunity to come right out and be that team leader.
Yes.
Just because of the situation the Magic are in. The Magic were so in the basement last year, I think in conference and in their division, that I feel like the only way is up for them.
And that's the thing with Bancaro, too. You bring up team leader. He was the team leader at Duke. A freshman, being the team leader at 18, 19 years old.
Right.
Telling 4th-year seniors what to do. That says a lot about the guy's character, which is another reason I think Bancaro is such a safe pick and also a great guy to invest in.
Yeah, I can barely be a leader at 28. So for a 19-year-old to do that, pretty damn impressive, if you ask me. So I want to get to it. The big reveal here. Who's number 1?
I think we know who it is. He was going to be 1 regardless.
Regardless.
Of where he went. I knew he was going in the top 3. I think he was going 2 to OKC. I think everyone knew that. But it's Chet Holmgren. This guy's a unicorn, Troy. He's 7.
He looks like...
Eat that man a couple burgers, right? Let that boy eat. Because when you talk about on-court awareness for a guy who is as young as he is, defensively and offensively, just great court vision. His defensive ability in the interior to block shots, he averaged close to 4 a game last year. But it wasn't just like, oh, he's bigger than you, I'm going to block the shots. Didn't matter what post moves you did. Didn't matter who was going up against him. He can shoot, too. He's an offensive weapon. But what I love about Chet, for a 7-footer, he can get up and down the court. We have not seen that in a guy with his size before. He's had comparisons to Porzingis because of his size and ability to shoot the outside.
And being a unicorn?
Exactly. He's had comparisons to Kevin Durant because of his length, his ability to shoot.
Yeah.
And he's a 7-footer who releases the ball pretty high above his head. He's not getting blocked. So for, I think, the hobby, I think Chet Holmgren is really going to be kind of that LaMelo Ball type chase from 2 years ago.
Wow.
Where it's a guy that everybody wants to get into. And the Oklahoma City Thunder, a perfect team to build around him, right? You have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's playing like a superstar now. He really is turned into the third best rookie from the Luka Trey class. You got Josh Giddy, who I know people are still sleeping on Josh Giddy. As crazy as it sounds, Josh Giddy is phenomenal. Like I said, I compared him to Luka a little bit. He's a triple-double machine, and now you put a guy like Chet Holmgren with him. That's a big three. That is a big three you need to not only make the playoffs, but make a deep playoff run. And Chet Holmgren is someone, he can win Defensive Player of the Year. He can score 25 a game. He can shoot the outside shot. He can average 4 blocks a game. Chet is someone that's so unique of a build that we've never really seen before. A 7-footer with such good ball handling, outside shooting ability, and then just being able to have the stamina to get up and down the court. Because a lot of the big men, they don't play as many minutes as some of the guards because they rest a little bit. They don't go up and down the court as quick. Chet will blow by you.
Sure.
He's someone that I think right now people are like, all right, yeah, I know Chet Holmgren. He's got a lot of hype. He's the top recruit, played at Gonzaga. But give him probably a month into the NBA, and you're just going to see him blow up. And I think that's why he's number one for me, because not just right now, but down the road, Chet Holmgren is someone that has the build and the ability to be not only a superstar, but a generational type player.
Yeah, well, it helps that he can get down the court in about 4 to 5 strides, and I'm sure he'll get a lot of the Southern cooking in Oklahoma City. Real quick, obviously you said Chet was your number one guy for the hobby in general. Out of those 5 guys that you said, who's another 1 to 2 players that you think will make a splash in the hobby that people should be immediately investing in when, the first products of their class comes out?
So I think it's going to be the big 3. I think right now you can't go wrong with any of the big 3. I think that's who everyone's going to want to chase when the products first come out, because it is the big men, right?
Right.
But I would honestly say, for me personally, a couple guys that I would be really looking forward are Chet and Jaden Ivey. Those are the 2 that I want to chase. Those are the 2 that when we get those products to come out and I get to break them for you guys, those are the 2 I'm looking for, because their ceilings are as high as anyone we've seen get drafted over the past 5-10 years.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll see some Cade and Jaden duels out there, some Cade and Ivy duels. That'll be nice. And obviously having him in his sophomore year and Jaden in his rookie year, that'll be 2 collectible guys to watch out for in Detroit.
And I think that's why Ivy is also so attractive for the hobby. He's just going to feed off Cade, and Cade's going to feed off him. When you have a team that has 2, draft picks that are both highly recruited, highly hyped up names,
sure,
they're just going to feed off each other, and it's just going to raise each of their, values for the next at least handful of years.
Yeah. And be watching out for, I know at least Chet and I think 1 or 2 of the other guys in there, they are in 2022 Bowman University basketball, though, available on dacardworld.com. So make sure you're checking that out. All right, I want to get into a couple more things before we close out the show here. Let's talk about O'Neal Cruz. But before we do that, I just want to say for the giveaway, thank you to Hobo Fuzz. He let us know for this particular giveaway, we're going to random 1 lucky Twitch follower on Monday to win the contents. YouTube commenters, you're still getting a $100 credit. So one of the YouTube commenters is going to get a $100 credit. Thank you again to Hobo Fuzz. This particular giveaway, 1 random lucky winner, who is a subscriber, I believe.
Gotcha.
Twitch follower. Apologies. All right, Twitch follower. So, all right, now let's get into O'Neal Cruz. He made his season debut earlier this week, and boy, did he impress. He did not disappoint. I mean, this guy, I guess I didn't realize he's quite the specimen.
Well, I don't think people really realize he's the same height as Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
This is a 6'7" shortstop.
Shortstop.
And I know the Pirates are a team where people just kind of wait till they leave the Pirates.
Sure.
They got some nice young players. Brian Hayes from last year.
Mhm.
Henry Davis, a prospect. But O'Neal Cruz, Troy, is making his mark. And he did.
Yeah.
The first night.
I mean, insane. Like, I'm thinking to myself, good luck trying to get a line drive even past him,
Yeah.
like a blooper. I mean, tallest starting shortstop in MLB history.
Yes.
That
Crazy.
right there is insane. Also, too, it wasn't just his size, it's also his speed with both his arms and his legs. Pretty crazy. Tyler, if you have a chance, if you could pull that up, the throw
This is
right
wild.
here, this is insane.
Wild.
He clocked 96.7 miles an hour from shortstop to first across the diamond like that.
I'll tell you what, no one's beating that throw out. I don't care how fast you are. Then he's a great fielder too. No one's beating that throw. 97 miles an hour for a shortstop?
Well, I'll tell you right now too. I know it's happened a lot more in the MLB over the last few years, that when teams are getting blown out, you're putting a position player on the bump. I'm just saying right now, I'd love to see O'Neal Cruz throw an inning or two.
I would. I don't think the Pirates will, because
No.
they're going to want to keep that arm as good as they can keep it.
Absolutely.
Usually you see a guy like for the Cubs, Frank Schwindel came out. He threw like 40-mile-an-hour little floaters into the plate, just hoping to get contact outs. But O'Neal Cruz is someone they want to keep that arm in good condition.
Yeah, especially because another quick note here, hardest ball thrown by an MLB infielder this year.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's 96, 97 miles an hour. There are pitchers, major league pitchers, who can't reach that.
No.
That's wild,
No,
Troy.
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
He does it from the plate, too. I believe he hit a 112-mile-an-hour line drive in his debut.
Yeah, we got that video queued up for you, too. Let's take a look what he did at the plate as well. Let's watch this as it's happening here. I mean, look at this thing. It's just like, you could just tell.
The most impressive thing about this clip is the angle the center fielder takes, because he doesn't expect the ball to get to him that quick. It's just like, all right, I'm going to take an angle, scoop this up.
Sure.
And then about 2 seconds in, he's like, oh, no, I
Yeah.
cannot get to this baseball.
No, because you could see it tail, and I feel like you just see the steam coming off it. That thing was probably whistling. 112.9 exit velocity. Once again, hardest hit by any Pirates player this year.
And it's awesome, too, because I love PNC Park. Pittsburgh's awesome.
Beautiful.
The Pirates, they've had a couple rough years. If they can get a superstar like O'Neal Cruz and build some guys around him, Pirates are going to be a fun team to watch.
Yeah, you know what? I love going to PNC, so you know it's always, you know, I'd love to see him. Brian Hayes, obviously. Real quick note for you too here. Last thing about O'Neal Cruz. I think you'll like this one, being a football fan as well. So he ended up clocking a 31.5 foot per second sprint speed, fastest by any Pirates player this year. Faster than Tyreek Hill's fastest sprint speed last year.
So Tyreek calls himself the cheetah,
Cheetah.
right? What does that make O'Neal Cruz?
That's what I
Speed of
mean.
Light?
Exactly. Well, right, exactly. He's Usain Bolt, fastest thing running. Shout out Akon.
And with baseball right now, right, the most, I guess, impressive guys in the hobby, the guys you want, are those five-tool superstars.
Absolutely.
Acuna, Tatis, that have the power, the contact,
Yeah.
the speed, the fielding. O'Neal Cruz showed that in his first game. Oh, yeah, I'm a five-tool superstar.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, just real quick, looking at eBay here, $150 for an absolute. That just sold patch auto for O'Neal. I mean, 2022 Topps O'Neal. This is a silver pack auto out of $199, $610. So obviously, people are really, really into him.
And it makes sense, right? After a debut, he's
Absolutely
already been a hype prospect. His physicality's off the charts. 6'7" shortstop, is you never heard of that.
No, he's gonna be hot right now in the hobby. I feel like people are gonna jump on him right now. So we'll see if he stays the course though. that's going to be the thing. Are we buying high right now? And then does he kind of, I imagine the value is going to come down a little bit because I'm sure he's going to stabilize.
Yeah. What I would say for O'Neal Cruz is probably wait for the off season right now, because the Pirates probably won't make the playoffs, and the off season's usually when you can find these prices dip a little bit. And O'Neal Cruz right now, I mean, after the debut, everyone's like, I gotta get him. I gotta get him. Panic, 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 panic. Just let it sit for a little bit. We've seen with all these top prospects too. Trout took a little bit to get into the swing of the MLB.
Absolutely.
Vlad took a little bit, and they're huge names. It will take time to adjust. The major league pitchers will adjust a little bit to O'Neal Cruz, but I have no doubts that this is going to be a top 10 player going forward.
Yeah, and speaking of, we got to get him. We got to get him. Make sure you're checking out DA Car World again.
Yes.
All the Bowman products on there are going to have O'Neal Cruz in it. So make sure you're checking those out. Steve is going to be on Twitch later, so he could gladly open up some stuff for you there. The Bowman, the Topps products, whatever you want if you're going O'Neal Cruz hunting. Next up, big announcement in the college football world yesterday. Little hook 'em there. Hook 'em. Arch Manning announces that he is committing to Texas.
So I got one question for you, Troy.
Yeah.
Is Texas back?
Is Texas all the way back? Well, I'm going to ask you, do you think Texas is all the way back? Because you told me something interesting earlier today about the quarterback situation in Texas currently.
So Texas has Quinn Ewers, who is going to start as a freshman this year. He was the top recruit out of high school in 2022, and he already transferred from Ohio State to Texas. Now they get Arch Manning, who commits, who is the top QB recruit for 2023. It'll be interesting to see what happens. If Quinn has a great freshman season, then maybe you see him transfer someone else, kind of like you were saying, a Hurts Tua situation.
Sure.
But the hype on both these guys is real, and if you're a Texas fan, I know it's been a couple dark years. Texas might be back.
Texas might be back. I mean, how do you think Arch is going to shake up the hobby? Because I think you're right. Like, are we seeing... I watched his highlight videos, a little bit of it. Now, mind you, he's a junior in high school. He's got a whole senior year ahead of him, a whole senior season. I looked, though, and I'm not going to lie, watching his throw-in motion, I saw shades of Peyton.
Well, that's the thing, too. He has the last name. When you have the last name Manning, that means a lot in the hobby. You already have something going for you there. And now to go to such a prestigious university like Texas, it'll be interesting to see what happens, Troy. But I got to say, everything's in his favor right now. He's going to a big school. He's got the name Manning. It's just double thumbs up for the hobby side of Arch.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm sure, obviously not this year, but within the next year or two, we'll probably see him in some Leaf products. I know Leaf has a lot of exclusives with that kind of stuff. People coming out of high school and early college. And then, of course, we'll probably see the Bowman products again now.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. We've been seeing a lot of these college players, especially the quarterbacks, in the new Bowman University.
Yeah.
I think we will see Arch Manning in it sooner rather than later. And that's definitely going to be a guy people want, because now you have the first Bowmans, right, from Bowman University. That should be a nice one to chase.
Absolutely. All right, last thing to get to today is the Cup Game 4 recap. So we're going to show you some goals from that. We're going to try to go in order here. Sorelli started off the scoring 36 seconds into the game. Pretty impressive. Avs, though, they finally get on the board in the second period. Nathan McKinnon with a power play goal, his first goal of the Stanley Cup final. Now, that was after Hedman took an interference penalty, but Hedman ended up making up for it and helping his cause with a backhand goal to put Tampa Bay up 2-1.
That's a beautiful goal. You know what? They got Cale Makar in Colorado. Hedman's like, hey, I can do a little bit of that too. He's still one of the best defensemen in the NHL, and he showed it on that goal.
He could show he still got it. Then later in the period, the Avs end up tying it up on a weird one here. This is from Cogliano and Strum. If you watch, Strum kind of flicks it. It goes off of Cogliano into the back of the net. That is the tying goal in the third period there. That takes us into overtime. And then, of course, I mean, the Avs just peppered Vasilevsky most of overtime. So it didn't really feel like a matter of if they were going to score. It was when they were going to score. And sure enough, first game back from the thumb injury, who nets it? Nazem Kadri.
Of course it was Kadri. And what I love about this goal is no one knew where the puck was when it first scored. All I knew is Vasilevsky knew he didn't have it.
Yeah.
I thought it went up into the netting. And if you look right there, it's sitting under the net. It
Right.
snuck up and got stuck there. Tampa had no idea where it was. Colorado starts celebrating. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
And then you look at the replay, you go, that got by him.
Yeah. Avs have a chance to clinch the cup tonight at home. Real quick, what do you think? You think they're taking it?
I do. I thought Tampa was going to give them a good fight in this series, but the speed of Colorado's prevailing. They have so much star power with Cale Makar, Nathan McKinnon, and that just relentless attack, Troy. And the big thing for me was they showed they can fight back in a tough game. Tampa was pretty much dominating the first two periods of last game. And then from about the second half of the third period and into overtime, all of overtime, Colorado was just a relentless attack. And that's something we haven't seen from Avs teams of the previous years that have, kind of disappointed in the playoffs. I think they're finally getting over the hump. And if they win tonight, we may be looking at potentially a new dynasty on our hands in the National Hockey League.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the time we have for today on The Chase. Steve, I want to thank you so much for joining me. Did you have fun?
Of course, man. I'd love to be back. Thanks for having me. David, thanks for letting me sit in your chair. I kept it warm for you. Maybe a little too warm. But I appreciate it. Appreciate you having me on. It was a blast. I got to talk about the NBA draft. I mean, what's not to love?
That's exactly why we had him on. That's what we wanted to do. We can catch you after this on Twitch, correct?
Yes, you can. Little shorter stream for me today, but Pete will also be in tonight at his regularly scheduled time. There's good old Pete right there. Late night breaker Pete. And I know I got the last pack magic, but I'll tell you what, late night Pete has some magic of his own. You're definitely going to want to tune in tonight with Pete. If you don't catch my stream, I got a couple baseball breaks to do, both from Select. We got a 4-box break, I believe, and then a case break. And then Pete will be in tonight. Should be a fun day of breaking.
Great. Well, hey, we have a tradition here on The Chase. I want to know if you can help me.
All right.
All right. We crinkle our paper up.
All right.
And we try to hit that middle camera.
All right, let's do it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, remember, have a great weekend, and it's all about the chase. Oh, God, I was way off. Whew. Awful.